Happy Wednesday, everybody. We're doing things a little bit backwards this week because there was a holiday in the United States, and you know what that means. Patch gets pushed back a day, and we didn't feel like just waiting. Plus, we got some other things going on this week, so you're getting the champion review today, and then tomorrow, Thursday, you will be getting the patch. So don't worry, this isn't permanent. It's just this week. Yeah. So today we got Shaco and Heimerdinger.
Linger.
And then I wanted, we talked about this before, but our poll is Udyr is the next champion, but we just went over his rework. Do you guys want us to like still go in depth with him? Let us know, yes or no, because I'd be glad to just skip over him since we talked about him so recently.
Right, but we also don't want to deprive you guys of
Sure.
of your beloved reviews. So
Let
us know what we should do.
Aside from that, just wanted to touch on LCS was fucking phenomenal this past weekend.
Dude, the playoffs have been outstanding in every facet at every level since they've started the playoff. Even the last weekend of LCS was outstanding.
Right.
So I've been thoroughly impressed. I'm super stoked on it. I'm glad to see that Team Sliquid didn't make it. Although I know a lot of people are upset about that, which is fine. That's fair. I'm just not a big Team Liquid fan. So happy for me that they didn't make it. Sad for Team Liquid fans and for the players themselves as well. I mean, I know they had a lot of huge expectations riding on that. So for them to not make it really sucks for the players. And I have no idea what they're going to do. I kind of anxiously awaiting to see what happens, what comes of that, you know?
Yeah, it'll be a very interesting off season. I hope at least like for Worlds, I would love if like Whippo would just better yet, I hope they just bring in the whole like player joining a cast for a game.
Yeah, I think that's probably the best thing that they've done. It's awesome.
It is. I don't think they're doing that in any other regions, right? I mean, I've seen in LEC like Broxa was casting a few games. I don't know if he works for the broadcast now.
I don't. At least the way LEC's broadcast is totally different than ours.
Sure.
Like they I guess subcontract is like the best way to do it. So like nobody other than Quickshot and the people behind the scenes, I don't think anybody's actually employed by Riot anymore on their side. So it's all just subcontract. Like, hey, you get this weekend, you get that weekend. I mean, you see over there, you see Goldborg a lot. You'll see Trouble. Shocks on there mostly, but not all the time. I think you still get Ender every once in a while over there too. So I don't know how their system works, but
I do believe some of the NA people are on contracts too. I know Flowers, Mark.
Right, but you'll get them. You'll get them every weekend. In LEC, you don't always get everybody every weekend, but they also have like double the talent pool, I guess is the best way to put it. They have like a lot of people that are on their cast, so that way people can have breaks and it just gives an opportunity for a lot of people to show out and show up, you know.
But yeah, I would love if I personally would love to hear just Whippo on a cast again for Worlds, but like anybody just
dude, Whippo's was so good. His was so good. I'd be stoked to have another one of those.
So please, Riot, if you're listening and you want like $1 million idea, take it.
Free. Right here. You heard it here first.
But yeah, this weekend we got finals coming up, and we know that C9, 100 Thieves, and EG are our 3 Worlds teams. We just don't know what the seeding is. Cloud9 is guaranteed first or second, so they do not have to play-ins. But with Danny stepping down,
yeah, that feels so bad for Danny.
We don't need to go into depth with this because we want to make this a shorter episode. But yeah, best of luck for him. But hopefully EG can overcome 100 Thieves. So
yeah,
an angry 100 Thieves because they lost. And yeah, so they're gonna be a little upset.
They mad for sure. So we got to beat them 100 Steves, but that's not in my hands. So good luck to you, evil geniuses, and for those of you that are 100 Thieves fans, I am sorry that I'm not sorry. But no, it should be a good series though. But let's get on to the review because I think that is what everybody is here for.
Yep. So we're gonna start with Shaco, and God,
This
looking at
champion,
his
dude.
what do you call his feet? They're not pizza feet. They just look like fucking. I don't even know what to call it. Just look at his fucking feet,
That's
dude,
such
in
a
that in-game model.
yeah. What do you? They're like. I don't. Can't even say that being inappropriate. I'm not gonna say it. But what is that little dongle at the end? Like I feel like that's supposed to flip up. Like they should be like set shoes, and they're not.
Right. Like slippers, right, or whatever
Right.
the fuck.
They should be like Aladdin shoes, dude. Best way to put it.
Very.
And like I
Yeah.
have no. That's like not even a good way to put it, but like the most recognizable way is Aladdin shoes.
So Shaco, probably one of the most frustrating champions to play against.
Yeah.
Let's take a look at what has been going on with him. So
Old Shaco.
now, as far as his previous abilities, the only thing that's changed was his passive.
Right.
And the passive, okay, so look at his first innate, which was Shaco deals 20% bonus damage when striking an enemy from behind with his basic attack or 2 Shiv poison. Let me jump to his current stuff really quick. Is that on his Q now? Oh no, it's the same thing. When hitting, okay, so it's a little different. It's still on his passive. It's a little different. Okay,
I think one of the things, because you asked about the Q, I think the Q apply. Well, it doesn't say it on here, but I think it when you walk up behind somebody with deceive, I think it effectively works as a basic attack. Like I think it applies like on hit effects like that. So I think that would probably count.
Okay. Let's see. So his second innate on his passive, same thing. Basic attacking an enemy from behind guarantees a critically strike, bonus damage increased to 100% with infinity or 100% plus 25% AD. Just so fucking thrown in here with numbers.
If you have infinity edge, you get the extra 25%.
Right.
Yeah.
And then backstab cannot happen on the same target. So, for a few seconds, it's every 3 seconds. Now I'm curious. So let me see his current one. Same thing. It's affected by critical. Backstab is affected by a critical strike. So it doesn't guarantee a crit.
But you can crit with it.
But it's and so they moved that to the Q,
right?
Which is what we'll go to. But yeah, again, his old Q, believe is still the same thing. Just instantly blinks to the target location to stealth for up to 3.5 seconds, also causing his next basic attack within 6 seconds to critically strike. So here it doesn't necessarily say behind.
So I do like, so if you read the details on backstab, just that backstab's bonus damage adds to the damage instance of the original basic attack. So I think if it crits, the damage on the empowered attack is also going to crit.
Okay.
Is how I'm understanding that. It's basically like very D&D style of crit. Like, oh, if you have the damage modifiers, they also get the bonus.
I think the other thing to note is his old Q was like guaranteed. I mean, it's, again, we were talking about this. It's just, they're kind of like more of like patch-like changes, whereas like
right,
his invisibility was 3.5 seconds. Now it starts at 2.5 and then scales up to 3.5.
Right.
It's like, eh.
They kind of just shifted some stuff around a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
The thing you need to know is that this champion's bullshit.
Any champion with he has true invisibility, right? Except for around turrets.
Does he? It says, yeah, it does say invisibility. It's not camouflage, so yes, it can only be revealed by true sight. So pink wards, but if you're standing on top of him, you're not going to see him like you will camouflage.
Right.
So that's bullshit. The only one I think that gets around that is Teemo's passive, if I remember correctly. Kind of like Kha'Zix's ult. I think even if you were to put a pink ward right on top of Teemo, you still won't see Teemo.
Right. The only way to like quote see him is if you have a sweeper, you'll see his like silhouette. But
yes.
Yeah.
Same with Kha'Zix. I think you can do that with Kha'Zix's ulti as well, but you won't be able to actually see him because that's a delayed counter as well.
Right. I mean, I guess the rest of his
is pretty much the same. We'll take a peek back and forth. I know Jack in the Box obviously changed. The big change there is that originally it was not an AoE ability. It is now an AoE ability.
Yeah.
So you got that going for you. So
yeah, the single target was pretty Did
Scimitar
not
was okay, but like the AoE is so strong.
right.
So strong. It's ridiculous. But it helps him clear his jungle camps, which means that he can just come to your lane level 2 and just annihilate your face, your fussy.
I always like champions like him where you can basically be doing 2 camps at once. Like if you're starting red, you could set up like it depends on like the time. If obviously I'm not a good Shaco player, and I know Shaco players know the exact moment to start setting their boxes so they don't
Right.
like disappear by the time minions spawn.
Right.
But like you could set a box up at your Raptors and a couple at red buff, and it'll pretty much almost kill the entire Raptor camp with the AoE. Like
Yeah.
and or at least by the time they walk over to you, the patience hasn't reset, and you can just finish off everything. It's pretty OP. Very fast jungle clear.
So he's also one of the few leashless
Yeah.
junglers as well. Does not require jack shit. I think that for me makes him even cooler. I think leashless champs are cool. Obviously, I feel like you have to know more of what you're doing when you're playing one of those. Like if I think about like Kane, for example, like hey, I'm gonna go do chickens. Like okay, that's fine. You go ahead and start chickens. You could do it. You have AoE in your queue. Like you just annihilate that camp. Shaco's got AoE with his boxes and can kind of kite the camp around a little bit. So he doesn't need a leash. Who else? Who am I forgetting that doesn't really need a leash?
Oh, I mean, you could Ivern like
Vern. Yeah, Vern doesn't need a leash. Big Vern. Then there's champions that use a leash but can also do multiple camps, like Zach, who can pull camps together and slam them together. Like I think those kind of champs are cool too. But the leashless thing I think is really cool. It's potentially dangerous if you're playing into someone who's gonna try to catch you on that. But like, I don't think you're gonna do that to Shaco because the Jack in the Boxes are way too OP early, and then he just throws another one and gets you to chase him, and you run into it and you're dead.
then his 2 Shiv Poison. Okay, so the old one looks a little different. Let's see. Passive, while 2 Shiv Poison is not on cooldown, Shaco's basic attacks poison his targets, slowing them for 2 seconds and reducing attack speed of minions and monsters. I had no idea. I do not remember that.
Yeah, I don't know.
And then active throws a dagger at the target enemy, dealing magic damage and slowing them for 3 seconds. Damn, what the fuck?
Yeah, I don't remember it.
10 to 30% slow?
Actually, I kind of do remember that. Now I'm thinking about it, the slow, because that's why it was a poison, right? Now it's just called 2 Shiv Poison, but doesn't actually do anything unless you're backstabbing with it. Or no, I guess it does still slow them.
I had no idea. Wow, I didn't know that.
I didn't even think about it. I forgot about it, I guess.
So enemies protected in the wall, 2 Shiv is not on cooldown. I had no idea that your auto attack slowed. Weird.
Yeah. Pretty gnarly.
We're learning stuff.
You know?
Same thing. Throws a dagger at the target enemy that deal magic damage increased by 50% if the okay. So they added in the execute, right?
Yes.
They added in the execute. Backstab bonus. The dagger deals an additional blah blah blah. While when the increase to actually does a lot more fucking damage when the target is below 30% HP. So again, you get more bonuses when you're throwing it with the backstab bonus.
Yeah, you're looking. Looks like it's about a. Let's see. Your AP ratio goes up to 90% AP, and your AD ratio goes up to 112.5% bonus AD. So, and then you're not quite doubling damage from 70 to 105 on the first rank, and 170 to 255. So you're a little over. Like I don't know what that scaling ratio is, but obviously it scales harder the further up it is, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like 70 to 105 is definitely less than 100% scaling, but 170 to 255 is, well, actually no, it's even less. So yeah, I'm not sure what that scaling ratio is that they're working out there. Very interesting.
The other thing that's interesting is looking at his old. It says previous abilities. I don't see his ult here.
Yeah, it's not in there. I see the hallucinate part, but maybe it's because I don't think it's ever changed, and that's why there's really
the only
no change.
thing it definitely hasn't had that box triangle thing.
The mini, yeah, that's the only thing really that's different in there.
Did it used to leave a box when he died?
I don't think so.
I don't remember.
I don't
It's weird
think
they
so.
didn't. It's weird they didn't post it there.
And they
Huh.
have some of his like original, like here's an original ability that's not in this list was Maniacal Cloak. While
Mm,
toggled on, Shaco becomes stealth after being out of combat for a short duration, consumes 15 mana per second while active.
that actually sucks.
Looks like that changed to deceive
Right.
because they used the same icon and then they just redid all the icons for that. So okay. He actually had some decent original icon art. Very gestury and playful in that regard.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's the thing to note about his ulti that they have changed a few things that were intentionally left in there. I believe the hallucinate actually now shows that it has a buff on it. If Shaco has a buff, it used to in the past. You could tell because like, oh, Shaco has a buff. That one doesn't have a buff, and you could tell which one was actually him. But I think they got rid of that. It can be very hard to discern which is which. You have to you probably have to fall victim to it once or twice to really catch on to what they're doing with it. And then you kind of have an idea of how that player is going to use it, right? Other than that, I mean, it doesn't do as much damage. Obviously, it's got a lower damage ratio, so sometimes you know when you're getting hit, but like by that time it's kind of too late because if he's hitting you with the clone, then he's probably behind you, ready to hit you with the backstab. So it's hard to tell exactly what is which is which.
Also, I think the most like aggravating part of this ability is when he casts hallucinate, he blinks and he becomes basically untargetable.
Yeah,
So like you can if you're gonna like if you're juggling turret aggro, you can hit R and it drops turret aggro. So it's
right.
like or just any other targeted like Karthus alt, Caitlyn alt, you can completely negate that fucking ability if you time it correctly. And that's
Yes,
come on.
it's got a quarter second cast time, so you have to time it really well. But it's pretty gross. I know that I think the Jack in the Boxes have different damage than the regular Jack in the Boxes. So the ones that come out, the mini boxes that come out of the hallucinate when he dies, there's a different damage ratio, but it's pretty fucking high, and it's pretty like it's a pretty big team fight breaker. Like you could be in a good position and you think you've made a catch, you've popped the fake Shaco, and now you're just getting annihilated by these boxes, and you're feared, and the other team's like, cool, now we have to jump on you. Thanks. It's pretty gross. So just always remember, keep an eye out for Faco when you're looking for Shaco.
One thing I know I've seen good Shaco players do is if you've not shown you can if you hard farm, get to level 6 and know you haven't been seen on the map, if you ult and send your clone in, your clone will show the last level you were seen on the map. So like you could be level 6 and send in your clone, it'll say level 4. So it'll be like, "Oh fuck. He's level 4. That has to be the real Shaco. He's not 6 yet." Yeah,
That's
if you're
good to
not
know.
seen, it's pretty OP.
Yeah, I didn't know that. It's really good to know.
Yeah, it's as long as long as you haven't been seen, because obviously your level updates as if you've been seen on a ward or if you know in lane or
Right.
whatever. Just but yeah, if you're just power farming and you get to level 6, just send your fucking clone in. They'll think it's the real thing and they'll just like come in and try to kill you. And then surprise, it's a fucking clone.
Right, right. That
Um,
is, you know what? I totally forgot about that, but that is actually like pretty gross.
I don't think too many people know how to do that like properly or it's
More than likely, you're probably right.
not saying like I'm sure like every Shaco main probably knows about that, but like it's a neat little trick try to
is.
figure out and you could fuck over a lot of people with I think it comes down to this is becoming our most important question is what's the best
Dude,
skin?
It
Shaco
is
skin.
the most important question, always and forever. Man, best Shaco skin is tough. That's a very tough question. Crime City Nightmares was a pretty good one. Darkstar's pretty classic. Royal, the splash art is the creepiest I've ever seen. Man. If I really had to like, if you forced me to choose one, I think I would actually go with Masked Shaco. the Chinese New Year style one. I think that one's just really cool looking. It's just different.
I gotta go with Nutcracko, just because
Oh, Nutcracko's good.
fucking love skin names that change the champion's name.
Same. Nutcracko is a good one.
Nut-
Forgot about that one. Yeah, ushering in a new age of stale fruitcake and creepy wooden toys. That's all you need to know about Shaco.
What? What a description! Wow. Let me read the Saran really quick because I have headphones on. So here we go. He wishes to eliminate all Santas, ushering in a new age of stale fruitcake and creepy wooden toys.
So there you go, dude.
Shaco.
Nutcracko. That one always reminds me too of Toy Soldier Gangplank. Like I think those are in the same universe. I think because Toy Soldier Gangplank reminds me of like, oh, this is the Nutcracker, and then Nutcracko is like the evil version of that, right?
Yeah.
So
Right. Cool.
that's it for old Shikeko. And next on the list, because we don't have an ad for you guys, so next on the list we got the Dingalinger himself, Heimerdonger, the Donger Dog, the scientist, Heimerdinger. Jaime, maybe, perhaps, and we'll get back to that one, but Jaime. Techmaturgy. You guys, I don't know if any of you that have played this game long enough might recognize Techmaturgy. This was before they decided just to roll with Hextech. Techmaturgy had to do with technological advances using magic as a source, which we now call Hextech. But Heimerdinger was the guy for that. And actually, he's got a decently interesting lore just because of all that. Him and Ziggs in particular, as they are rivals. But the old Dingalinger here, he's pretty much the same. His kit hasn't changed a whole lot. He still plays around the turrets. The H28G evolution turret, which that has to mean something. I just haven't figured out what that is. Obviously, the H is Heimerdinger. I don't know what the 28G is.
Maybe 28th generation. I don't know.
Maybe. So let's start off with the first innate of his passive here. It says Heimerdinger grants himself and nearby allied champions, allied structures, and his turrets 6 to 22 based on level health regen. So usually when they do regen, that's per 5, so it's 22 per 5 seconds. I think you just divide that by 5 to get your actual per second health regen added.
I don't remember. Maybe I wasn't playing.
This is way before we played the game.
He could heal turrets?
His second innate, and this had a range of 1,000. His second innate, so the second passive, is Heimerdinger grants nearby allied champions and his turrets bonus health, 10 to 30 based on level. Health regeneration, persisting for 5 seconds after they move out of the range, or after he dies. So I did not know that he just healed people.
So they realized, oh yeah, actual structures healing was a little too broken.
Right.
Like, holy shit.
Yeah.
That first one is fucking insane.
And he was healing himself originally too. He does not have that anymore, so that's something else to note. It's like, yeah, no, it's just allies in your turrets. Which, fine. But when we move on to his passive, it has nothing to do with healing. Heimerdinger gains 20% bonus move speed while near an allied turret, or one of his turrets. That includes the 28G evolution turret and the 28Q apex turret deployed by him, which is his ulti. But they're only the turrets deployed by him, so if you are playing in all for one, it does not work on other Heimerdinger turrets. Bear that in mind.
That's good to know.
I mean, that I think was probably, and I know this is a lot newer, but probably more important when mirror matchups are still a thing, when you can have a Heimerdinger on the other side. But that might still be important because of the existence of Viego, right? Lay down a turret. Sure. Heimerdinger's not getting any extra movement speed, and Viego's not getting extra movement speed for your Heimerdinger's turrets. So that's probably another reason that's in there.
Also, to note, again, it's only allied turrets. So, like, if you're on the enemy side of the map, passive is almost useless, aside if you have your own down, you know. I mean, I could see them, if they decided to buff him, they could just make it all turrets, That would be a nice. Except maybe I don't know.
It'd be like that Raptor's cloak, the old Raptor's cloak.
Oh god, give me that fucking item back. So let's go back and let's look at his.
It's
Again,
cute.
Qs are gonna be the same. Maybe a little changes here and there.
Yeah, I think okay, so the very first one is definitely different than the rest. The rest are they don't change that the way that the first original Q did. So originally, Heimerdinger would lay down a machine gun turret that attacks nearby enemies with range attacks, gains experience from attacking units, and can be upgraded by Heimerdinger's ultimate ability. We know this. That's part of his whole thing. At level 2, uranium rounds, basic attacks, reduce armor and magic resist by 1. At level 3, explosive cartridges, basic attacks will deal AoE damage, and that's the turrets actually leveling up themselves. They had a pretty weak damage, which was fine. It should be really relatively a little bit more than a minion, obviously, but he also could have 2 to 6 turrets out at a time. That quickly got changed.
Wait, so what does it mean? Gains experience.
I'm assuming you just keep it alive like a pet, and then it would just level itself up. So by through killing minions and whatnot,
Oh,
or through
for some
attacking
reason,
units.
when I see level, I mean like the actual ability level. Like
No,
when you level
I
up.
think this was something they probably tried to toy with because remember he's an earlier champion. It's like, hey, what if you give a champion that can place things down that level themselves up?
Interesting.
Obviously, I'm sure most of these never got to level 3 because the counter play is destroy his turrets and Heimerdinger can't do jack diddly. So I'm sure that's why that got changed, as well as also having 6 fucking turrets out is disgusting. You can have one in the back that's really strong, and then the few up front that are it's like tower defense at that point, right? Second evolution, they got rid of the 6 turrets. They got rid of the leveling turrets. Instead, you're laying it down. At rank 2 of this ability, the turrets are upgraded to green turrets, and at rank 5, they're upgraded to red turrets. At rank 4, newly placed turrets gain 125 bonus health, and they gain 50% bonus attack speed for the first 6 seconds after being placed. Green turrets, basic attacks reduce armor and magic resist on hit, and red turrets deal AoE damage. So they tried to keep the same idea from the first Q, but instead of like, hey, let's do the turrets leveling, which has to do with how long they're out of the map, it said, all right, fuck that, because then you can't ever actually move them. So how about when you rank your ability, your turrets get better? And sure, I don't know why they needed a armor shred, but Riot decided they did.
Yeah, it's weird. Like you lose the green turret passive.
That's a good question.
I'm assuming
I would assume. Okay, let's see here. This got reworked in 3.13. Turrets will attempt to prioritize enemies hit by Heimer base attacks. Destroying turrets grants 12 gold. Before the introduction of the stock system, the cooldown was 26 to 14 seconds. Oh, this is where they added how many he can hold, but he can only have 2 turrets out at a time. Okay.
Because like reading this, it's like it says at rank 2, this ability turns upgrade to green turret, and then they become red at rank 5, so they lose the armor and magic resist shred.
Or does that stack onto what's on a red? That could just stack. Could be an additional thing, and they just didn't put it because
I would say, yeah, I would expect it to
that's probably
say
what it was.
basic attacks also deal.
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah, and I think that could just be a change in the language used as well. And as time moved on, they probably look back and were like, oh, we should add some language that makes this clear.
I don't like this. There's too much going on.
There's way too much going on, especially for how the game was at this time.
Mm-hmm.
But how's current turrets, guys? Make a lot more sense. You put out a turret, you can have up to 3 turrets out, and you gotta stock turret kits. I think you can have up to 3. Yeah, you can charge up to 3 in your inventory, so you can have a max of like 6 deployable, but you would have to have 3 out and 3 in your bag. When you deploy a 4th one, the oldest one disappears. Pretty crazy, or pretty straightforward, not too crazy. Obviously, if you use the ulti, you press R and then Q. I think in the past you would just choose a turret that already existed and press R on it to make it a bigger turret. In this case, now you choose that you're going to ulti, and then you choose the ability you want to upgrade. Nothing too crazy. They do deal area damage. They have a little timer when they first come out. They fire an AOE shot, and then they keep shooting. And they have this little white bar on top of their health bar that, as it builds up, it's going to tell you when the next AOE shot's coming out. And that's a missile that goes through everything. It doesn't stop at the first one. It goes through each unit and deals damage to each unit. Beyond that, thing to note, I didn't know this, that the turret stats are determined on cast and do not update with the ranking up of the ability or gaining or losing AP or levels.
Okay.
So that's good to know. The recharge rate is affected by ability haste, so that's also good to know. And the turret has a sight radius of 585 while active, and half of that while dormant. And then, of course, you can see how many turret kits he has by the gears and the cogs surrounding him.
Right. That's important to know because
Yes, I can tell what he can do.
Moving on to
give me the rockets, dude.
Yeah, first W.
The
Heimerdinger
W.
fires a number of champion-seeking missiles that randomly target visible champions within range. A champion can be hit by only one rocket at once. Okay, so we got like heat-seeking missiles.
Yes.
That's okay. Straightforward. That did
Right.
a lot of damage.
Yeah. They if they all hit you, they deal a fuck ton of damage, dude.
Well, it said can be only hit by one rocket at once.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's why I did a lot of damage. Okay. I'm still thinking of the newer ones where it's
Imagine
multiple
if
rocket waves.
if all three hit you, it's 90 to 330 with 80% AP scaling. That's fucking bonkers.
Yeah.
Second W fires 3 missiles that randomly target. Damn, they were on the like fucking point like
Point and click.
heats. Yeah, let's that randomly target visible enemy units within range. Every unit can be hit by only one rocket at once. So same thing.
Okay.
Okay, and then current W unleashes a wave of 5 rockets that converge to the target location and fan beyond it up to a maximum range, with each one dealing magic damage to the first enemy it hits. Every rocket hitting an enemy champion grants 40 or 20% beam charge to all all of his turrets within 1,000 range,
I didn't even know
up
that.
to a maximum of 100% beam charge when hitting 5 rockets on an enemy champion. Enemies can be hit by multiple rockets with each one beyond the first dealing 20% damage, increased to 40% against minions. Yeah, so it's like you land your W's, it's gonna benefit your turrets a little bit more, huh?
That's pretty good burst damage, dude. I know this champion's got burst damage, but I never realized it was like that bursty. Like, oh yeah, hit someone with all your rockets, and they're gonna get hit with all of your turrets, and it's gonna be the heat-seeking ones, you know.
And then, of course, his ult upgrade launches 4 waves of 5 rockets in quick succession to the target location, each one dealing magic damage. Enemy champion and monsters are dealt reduced damage from rockets beyond the first, and further reduced beyond the 5th. Minions take 100% damage from every rocket. I think every time I've ever used the ability is just to clear minions.
Yeah. You can use it on a champion if you're gonna hit it, but yeah, it's like a really good wave clear ability for sure. I know that with this ability too, you can actually cast them backwards in a super big spread, like a wide spread. So like currently you fire them and they kind of converge, and then they'll split past the convergence point, kind of like an X, right? Depending on where your cursor is. So you kind of get what they call like a custom spread. And then I think if you cast it directly on top of yourself, they just fan out.
Alrighty,
Okay.
Concussion Grenade.
The CH1 Concussion Grenade. Heimerdinger lobs a grenade at a location, dealing damage to enemy units as well as blinding them. Enemies hit by the center are stunned for 1.5. So originally this was a blind, which makes sense for, I guess, a concussion grenade. I would have thought a flashbang, but sure.
Yeah.
Pretty good base damage, 80 to 300 with a 60% AP ratio. Currently is now the CH2 Electron Storm Grenade. I like that they actually kept the numbering system up on this one. Heimerdinger hurls a grenade at the target location that detonates upon impact, dealing magic damage to nearby enemies and slowing them by 35% for 2 seconds. If the grenade hits an enemy champion, all turrets within 1,000 range of the impact gain 100% beam charge. This is important to note. If you get an ulti out, an ulti turret, and you land their grenade, they get... First, when you get the ulti turret out, it's going to have its big shot immediately. And you land the ulti grenade, it's going to get a second big shot to deal a ton of damage to that poor sad sap who's there. If you have any other turrets out, they're going to deal a lot more damage too. So it becomes very bursty very quickly. They definitely drop the damage off on it. It's only 60 to 220 with a 60% AP ratio. If enemies are hit the center of the grenade impact, they're actually stunned for a second and a half. So also good to know. It is more or less a stun, but you can still get a slow out of it. It's got a pretty small little radius. It's only a 250 effect radius. And the inner radius has to be right on top. It's only 135. So you got to be pretty precise with it, similar to like a Ziggs bomb. The upgraded version with the ulti is the CH3X Lightning Grenade. The only difference is this one bounces 3 times.
Yep.
It deals a lot more damage, 100 to 300 plus 60% AP, and then you get the same benefits of the turrets gaining their beam charge as well. Really good in a team fight. If you can hit anybody, it can stun 3 times. So that is something to note. It does bounce almost identically to Ziggs bomb, so note that as well.
All right,
and then, just the upgrade.
The upgrade. Let's see. So his first R passive Heimer
3
gains,
of them, by the way.
Heimer, 3 of them. Heimer gains bonus cooldown reduction, which was 10 to 20%. And then active target an evolution turret, heal it to max health, double its attack speed for 10 seconds, add 200 health, 10 damage, 10 armor, and upgrade it to its next level. Interesting. So
Very interesting.
I'm still trying to understand, like, the whole leveling system. That's fucking weird. Okay. Second R, same thing, gains passive cooldown reduction. Heal all evolution turrets placed for 100% their max health for the next 10 seconds. Affected turrets, basic attacks apply on hit slow, which was 20 to 30%. Okay. Third iteration, same cooldown reduction passively. Active, heal all evolution turrets placed for 100% of their max HP. For the next 10 seconds, your abilities gain the following empowerments. Already placed turrets, basic attacks apply on hit slow. Hex Tech micro rockets fire 5 rockets instead of 3. CH1 concussion grenades gain 250 bonus range. So you could do like everything.
Yes.
If you just had a 10 second window.
Yeah, it's kind of gross.
Sound OP as shit. Huh.
Yeah.
Okay.
You just,
and then of course
launch them all off and just fuck you.
And of course, we don't really need to go over the upgrade now because we just went through everything.
Right.
Just upgrade 20 of your basic abilities and yeah.
Right. And just recognize that it does use your basic ability. It's not like Corky's package where you can Valkyrie in with the upgraded package and then Valkyrie out. You don't get that option with Heimerdinger. You use the ability, it goes on the regular abilities cooldown.
Yep.
So just a little thing to note on that. But overall, this champion's pretty gross if you're really good at landing bombs and really good at kiting people around. I would almost say that, like, to a bit of an extent, Heimerdinger can play kind of similarly to Shaco on the fact that you're trying to get people to go to your turret. You know, he's got the jack in the boxes, you've got the turrets. That's kind of like their identities. And you're trying to get people to take attacks from those things so they leave you alone. Or you're trying to get them to focus those so they leave you alone. So you can kind of sneak around and do what you need to do. Massive AoE damage from both those champions with the way that their kits work currently. Other than that, I don't really have much else to say, so we got to go on to the skin question, dude.
Alien Invader.
Oh, Alien Invader's so good, but so is Jaime. Hazmat is pretty heimerdinger too.
Snowberdinger. Oh my god.
Snowberdinger is pretty good. Heimerstinger, the B one, is pretty good with Ziggs. Dude, he's got a lot of good ones. Man, I think Jaime's hilarious because he's got Corky's ship in the back, you know, Piltover Customs. And I don't think there's any Blitzcrank things in this skin. But if I had to pick one, I think I gotta go Alien Invader. That one's it's just a classic.
Just gives off Mars attack
Right,
vibes.
right. I mean, Snowberdinger's pretty good. It's pretty gross too, but it's pretty good.
Right.
Dragon Trainer is probably like the most current one that people like to use the most, but I do like Heimerdinger. That one's fun too.
Yeah, it's rare when I mean, in our opinions, all of them are pretty good. Even
They are.
Blast Zone. Blast Zone looking like fucking Albert Einstein, kind of, with like a.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's exactly with his hair frazzled everywhere.
He's got some good skins, man.
He doesn't have a whole lot of skins. This is one of the older champions that doesn't have a lot. I mean, save for Yorick, sure, but like in terms of age and the amount of skins he has, he might have the least.
I think you're right.
I'm trying to think back. He might have the least, yeah. Actually, no, I take it back. I think Zillion has less than him. And Zillions are all worse. And so is his model. So there's that. Remember when they updated Heimerdinger's model, dude, from his old one?
I think so, yeah.
That was like really, his hair was designed to kind of look like a brain. And it was pretty gross. Yeah.
So I think that's gonna do it, though.
Yeah.
We are all done, guys. Let us know about if you want us to go over Udyr for next week.
Yes.
Um,
If you guys don't want to, we can always come back because we just talked about him. So I feel like it's a little repetitive. So if we don't do Udyr, we got Nidalee and Poppy to look forward to, which are kind of fun. Poppy had a lot of changes, so
yeah.
that'll be a fun one for sure.
So you know the drill, guys. Like the video, rate us wherever you're listening right now or watching. Subscribe on YouTube. Join our Discord. We've been getting, a lot of people have been asking to play Clash. So if you are wanting to play some Clash, we got some people that would love to play with you. And yeah, just we'll be back tomorrow with the patch again. There was a holiday, so they pushed the patch day back one day. We are burning alive in California right now, so wherever you are in the world, I hope you're staying cool and safe
and hydrated. Please stay hydrated.
Yeah,
I know there's a big heat wave, but yeah, do what you need to do to stay hydrated. If you can save power, please do so. If that's if you can, I get it. I got all these reptiles in the back, and I'm able to save a little bit of power. You can see his light's still on, but the rest of them are off. If you can save power, do it. But beyond that, guys, have yourselves a good week, and we'll see you in the patch notes.
Yep. See ya.